I'm Laura Drabick, Chief Evangelist at Guidewire, and I'd like to welcome you to Better Together, How Digital Becomes Human. This joint keynote presentation features top-rated speaker, author, and industry thought leader Steven Van Belleghem to reveal how tech-forward brands are tapping data analytics and artificial intelligence to create emotional connections that transform customer relationships. And I'm going to be on hand to share how Guidewire empowers our customers to achieve the kind of digital customer centricity you'll hear about today. So with that, welcome back to Connections Reimagined. Steven, over to you.
Thank you, Laura, for a wonderful introduction, and good to see all of you again here at Guidewire. Very happy to be back here, especially because today we're talking about one of the topics that I'm really passionate about: how to combine the strengths of digital interfaces with the strengths of human interfaces to make customers happier than ever before. And when I first started to work on this theory, I got inspired by robots. And I have to tell you this, in our family, me, my children, my wife, we are big fans of robots, and we have several robots in our house. And our favorite one is this one, the vacuum cleaning robot. And we still have young children, they're 9 and 11, and we use it every single day. After breakfast, the robot cleans everything up, so that's really cool. But I'm going to tell you our secret. We also use the robot to raise our children. And this is how it works. I push the button in the middle, and it goes like this, doo-doo, and our children hear that, and then they look at me and they're like, "Dad, did you release the robot?" And then I say, "Yes, I just did." And then they say, "Yes, but our Legos are still on the floor." And then I say, "I know, you have 30 seconds left." And that works every single time. We're like, doo-doo, and they start to clean. And that's really cool. But after a while, as young parents, you start to think, okay, this machine has more authority over our children than we do as parents. And that's a little bit frustrating. So my wife and myself, we had a brainstorm about it, and we talked about it. We decided to mentally get over it. And we decided to raise the children with the three of us, the two humans and the machine. And it works fine for us. So if you have children that are younger than 10, I can strongly recommend you to get one of these robots. If you think, yeah, but Steve, my child is only 1, it's too early for that, that would be a mistake. Children, as young as they may be, they love these robots. So it's always a good time to get one. But we thought, okay, this is cool. This is man and machine together to achieve this target of raising our children. And I think this is what we need to do as organizations as well. Look for the strengths of digital, look for the strengths of humans, and see how you can combine both and reach that point where digital becomes human. And you know, this has an impact on strategy, because in the past we had to choose. We had to choose between operational excellence and customer intimacy. Today, smart companies, they don't choose anymore. They understand that if you use digital in a good way, that it helps you to become more efficient. And if you use the humans in a good way, it helps you to become more customer-centric. And if you combine both, that is brilliant. Let me show you an example. Take Citizen M Hotels. It's a hotel chain focused on business travelers. They have one of them on Times Square in New York if you want to try them out. And it's completely different in experience than any other business hotel that you may ever been to. And the biggest difference is the check-in. If you check in, you have to do it yourself, like in the airport. There's no human there behind the desk. And in the traditional hotel industry, they were like, hey, this is a terrible concept because we're the hospitality business. There needs to be a friendly human there waiting for you when you check in. And at Citizen M, they're like, no. Because this is what happens. You check in a hotel, so you wait in line, then you go to that friendly person, they ask you your name, and then they give you a piece of paper and a pen and paper. And then you have to write all your personal information on that piece of paper, information they already have because they made the booking online, right? And that's already a dip in the customer experience. But then it becomes worse. Then you hand over that piece of paper to that friendly human that is waiting there for you, and they have to type in that information in a computer system from the previous century. So no added value for the customer here, only a waste of time and a frustration both for the employee and for the customer. So at Citizen M Hotels, they were like, okay, let's not use humans during check-in because there's no added value. However, let's look for places where humans can add value in the hotel experience. And then my question to all of you is this. In your opinion, what is the most important place in a hotel? and you can shout it all in the chat right now because we're all thinking the same thing. The bar. That's like a global thing. Everyone believes that the bar is the coolest place in a hotel. But the truth is, in many business hotels, the bar is like the loneliest place on the planet. There's often more fun on an average funeral than in the bar of a business hotel. Not at Citizen M, the bar is open 24/7. The rooms are so small in that hotel that everyone is in the bar. And the people that are working there are having the time of their life. It's like Tom Cruise in Cocktail. So what these guys have done, I think, is a completely valuable exercise for every company. They ask themselves, where do humans add value and where do humans do not add value? And if you make that exercise, you can actually make some extreme choices. And you can say, if humans don't add value, let's not invest in humans, let's invest in digital. If humans do add value, let's invest more in those humans. And it's that extreme kind of mentality that they used at Citizen M and that I would invite you to use in your company as well. Now, let's take this for a second and let's add something on top of it. And I'm going to use my favorite Disney film for that. You all know that I'm a Disney fan, right? Inside Out. If you haven't seen it already, then this is your homework for tonight, because it learns you so much about customer experience. This film shows you how our brain is programmed. And if you will see the film, you will understand that the person who programmed our brain made a huge mistake, because we have 5 emotions, and 4 of those emotions are negative. We only have 1 positive emotion, and that is joy. Then we have sadness, we have anger, we have disgust, and we have fear. 5 emotions, 4 are negative. That's why we complain so much. We cannot help it. We were programmed in the wrong way. That's why your customers complain so much. They cannot help it. They were programmed in the wrong way. Now, if you know this, and if you remember the combination of digital and human, you can add the emotions on top of this. And this slide for me is like the future of customer experience in the insurance industry. You need digital interfaces to neutralize the negative emotions. And by doing so, you create time and space for joy to actually make a difference. And if you figure out how to combine those two, you reach the point when digital becomes human. And you understand that technology increases your efficiency, and you understand that humans will increase the emotional relationship. And as a consequence, I think all of you in the insurance industry, you're facing a double transformation right now. Of course, you will need to digitally transform yourself. But at the same time, there's also a human transformation ongoing. And these two happen at the same time. And if you combine that transformation, you can create a unique kind of customer relation. That's the point where digital becomes human. Now, I'm sure and I'm confident that this will fundamentally change relations in the insurance industry. And Laura has a lot to say about that. And she has this new concept that she's been working on, intelligence underwriting, that will fundamentally change the customer relation. And she's going to tell you all about that. Laura, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Steven. It's so true. Big data analytics are critical to building richer, more profitable relationships with today's most coveted customer segments, but only if you can do it right. Digital convenience and efficiency, they're still important, but they're no longer differentiating on their own. To remain competitive, insurers need to tap into the power of big data and predictive analytics to gain a deeper understanding of the customer, including the risk they represent and the kind of insurance products that can make a meaningful difference in their lives. Guidewire is making this possible today, thanks to the intelligent underwriting capabilities built into Guidewire Cloud. Humans can get the intel they need to deliver a premium digital customer experience with empathy and intelligence. According to Capgemini, the ability to foster emotional resonance with customers is now the single biggest driver of purchase intent and loyalty. In other words, it's kind of a big deal. But today, many underwriters still have to hunt for data that's locked away in silos and hasn't been rationalized and curated. This ends up wasting time they don't have and can lead to mistakes they can't afford. Guidewire's intelligent underwriting capabilities put an end to all that by enabling your team to leverage deep analysis to target the best risks and set the right price. By leveraging the industry's first closed-loop analytics platform, we unlock all that first and second-party data within your core systems. And we integrate it with data from Guidewire's risk listing engine called Science, our exclusive internet-scale connection to non-obvious information that would be nearly impossible to obtain otherwise. We then filter it through a predictive analytics engine built specifically for P&C insurers to feed frontline staff the right risk and pricing insights at the exact moment they need it. And we're just getting started. Today, we're actively developing a common assessment framework that will help you make the most of our analytics and risk listening tools when assessing underwriting data. You'll also have the freedom to supplement our intelligence by plugging into third-party sources like aerial imagery partner BetterView to further enhance your risk modeling. And this may be my favorite part. In order to future-proof your investments longer term, we hold regular sessions with insurers. And with their input, we're developing an integrated desktop for managing the entire underwriting process. To show you how it works, let's meet Benita, founder and CEO of a hotel chain with 100 locations nationwide. She's not exactly the portrait of patience, and she wants coverage like last week. There's no need to physically inspect these properties. Guidewire instantly assesses hundreds or even thousands of data points from internal and external sources to assign a risk score. In this future underwriting dashboard, the underlying data for that score is exposed to the underwriter. We also predict loss ratio and future risks, including the likelihood of a major loss and the chances of closing the deal. There may even be a virtual assistant like an Alexa for underwriting that will answer questions or advise on next best steps. Even today, these data-driven insights enable the underwriter to become a partner to Benita, who may not even be aware of the risks identified by Guidewire. Risks that could be calamitous had they gone undetected. And by playing out different pricing variables, the underwriter is able to provide fitted coverage to best meet Benita's needs. And that's how you create a very happy customer profitably. Oh, spoiler alert, no other solution comes close.
Thank you, Laura. Let's talk about artificial intelligence for a second, because, we are currently still at the first half of the adoption curve of AI. And what's really fascinating is to think about what will the second half of the curve look like. And to understand that, I would like to go back in time for a second. I would like to go back to 2007 when Steve Jobs first introduced the iPhone. Do you still remember the sentence that he used to describe the iPhone back then? He said, "The iPhone will be your life in your pocket." And he was absolutely right. But back then, we didn't have a clue what he was talking about. Because if you look to how we used the iPhone in 2007, it was like a gimmick. Today, it's a partner in life. But back then, it was like a gimmick. I don't know if you remember this, but this was the most popular app back in 2007 to demonstrate the power of the iPhone. It was called the iBeer app. And very ridiculous. Then you had a virtual beer, then you could drink it, then you put your phone back down, and then the phone burped. And we thought it was the most magical thing ever. I still remember the look in my mother's eyes when I showed her that, and then she was like, "Okay, and you paid $1,000 for that device?" That was 2007. We were looking for gimmicks. Today, it's a partner in life. That's because now we're at the end of the second half of the curve of smartphones. And then the question is, of course, will we see the same evolution with artificial intelligence? And I think that's exactly what will happen. Because today, if you look at how we use AI, it's also a little bit still in the gimmick sphere. We ask Alexa to share a joke or to tell a bedtime story. And the most advanced thing is, put something on our wish list or ask for a song. But it's still a gimmick. But I'm convinced pretty soon, AI and voice assistants will be a partner in life as well, just like phones are right now. That's what's going to happen in the second half of the curve. And in the second half of the curve, we're going to see completely new digital interfaces that will change our experiences. And we're already starting to see that. Look at how payments are being done in China completely digitally. Look at how commerce is being automated. And I'm convinced once an algorithm delivers, we will trust it. And I want to show you this personal anecdote. I already had a navigation system in 2001 that explains to the world how old I'm getting. But in 2001, the hit rate of a navigation system was like 50%. And the hit rate of a human, if they knew the environment, was 85%. So if I was driving somewhere and my navigation system said, Steven, it's straight ahead, but my wife said, no, I know this place. You need to take a right turn here. I listened to my wife and I took a right turn because she had an 85% hit rate. Today, like Waze has like a hit rate of 99.9%, right? The human still has a hit rate of 85%. So today when I'm driving somewhere and the machine is like, you have to go straight ahead, and my wife says, no, I know this place, you need to take a right turn, I go straight ahead. And I live with the consequences of that decision. But that's how it works, because we know that that algorithm delivers and we trust it because of that. Will we trust algorithms? That's often a question. The answer is yes. When they work, we will trust them. When you will get into a driverless car, you will trust a machine with your life. And sometimes it will be a little bit more exciting than what we've hoped for, but we're going to trust machines with our lives in the near future. That is what will happen in the second half of the curve. And the question is, how can we bring value in the second half of the curve? What do we need to do? I don't think that AI will replace all jobs. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think AI will create new opportunities for people's jobs and to do things in a more creative way, in a more productive way, in a more efficient way. And I actually think that we're going to see a flip from AI to IA, intelligence augmented, where we use technology to boost the power of our employees. I think that will be a crucial part of the second half of the curve. Let me give you an example. Digital Genius, a company based in San Francisco that want to create intelligence augmented for people in a contact center. So what happens is these guys come in and they look at your data from the past and they translate that into algebra. Then a question from the customer comes in. Can you rebook my flight? This question gets translated into algebra. And then they look in the data from the past to create an answer for this specific question. And the computer automatically generates that answer. And then the humans, the service agents behind the scenes, get to see the answer. They can choose it, they can use it, they can personalize it. And then they send it to the client. This here is KLM using it, the Dutch airline company. Because of this, KLM can answer more questions in a more personalized way than any other airline in Europe can. And the customer doesn't know what's going on. The customer just thinks, wow, these guys are fast, these guys are personal, this is cool. They must have better employees than Lufthansa. But that's not the case. Lufthansa has great people just like KLM. But KLM figured out a way how to boost the intelligence of their people. From AI to IA, from artificial intelligence to intelligence augmented. That will be part of the future of artificial intelligence, and it will have a huge impact on customer experience. Laura has a very concrete example about that. If you look to how claim handling is being done today, there's a lot of work for the people who have to take care of that. They're like orchestrating everything. What if you can change that? And what if you can make sure that the machine does all the orchestrating and that the human can focus on the customer and show empathy for the customer? That could fundamentally change the way that we do our claim handling. And Laura will tell you all about that.
Spot on, Steven. In fact, this hits pretty close to home for me. As you pointed out, in the past, you had to choose between operational efficiency and customer intimacy. And that was never truer than when I first started my career as a claims adjuster. Yep, that's me, circa. And my role was to act as a kind of conductor or orchestrator who manages all the moving parts within the claims process. Generally speaking, the claims adjuster acts as an intermediary for the customer and arranges for vendor services, including managing the estimate and the repair. And let me tell you, it's a lot of back and forth with the customer, as well as ordering reports, managing litigation, facilitating settlements, and cutting checks. You know, a knee-slapping good time. In truth, I wasn't really choosing operational efficiency or customer intimacy. I was doing neither of these things well at all. But to Steven's point, AI technology is quickly changing all of that by enabling insurers to harness the best features of both artificial and human intelligence. The idea, letting machines do what they do best so humans are free to focus on solving more complex issues and providing a concierge level of service. According to McKinsey, by 2030, most routine claims and customer interactions may be best suited for digital resolution, as much as 60% of total volume in McKinsey's view. More complex claims and customer interactions requiring nuanced judgment will continue to be handled by humans, who can now deliver true empathy and will be equipped with powerful new management tools. It's enough to have younger me saying 2030 stuff is cool, but present-day me says, oh yeah, hold my beer, because with Cortina, Guidewire is flipping claims on its head to make McKinsey's vision for 2030 a reality today. Introducing Autopilot, a powerful new AI engine designed to automate the large majority of claims processes, so adjusters can engage in more meaningful work and focus on processes that are optimized by human interaction. As part of Claim Center, Autopilot becomes the new conductor, orchestrating the execution of the entire claims process, making manual handling the exception rather than the rule. With Autopilot, automation is not an all-or-nothing proposition either. Insurers should realize immediate benefits from Autopilot, including reduced cycle times, reduced human intervention, and faster, better customer service. Insurers can also determine how much control they want to cede to Autopilot. They can start with a lot of oversight by human adjusters and then loosen the reins over time, or they can go full bore right off the bat. Either way, Autopilot reimagines the entire claims lifecycle and helps you future-proof your business for whatever comes next. And just in case anyone's wondering, younger me's hoping that whatever comes next includes an umbrella drink at TGI Fridays. Also on deck, Claims Intake Designer, an app that enables business users to easily create, edit, and publish progressive disclosure trees for claims intake at first notice of loss. The goal: only ask relevant questions in order to collect as much information as possible during first notice of loss, and then automate claims processing based on the information collected. Pretty powerful stuff, and it's all available in the here and now. This is why it all matters. For a lot of people, the claims experience is the brand experience, the ultimate moment of truth. The fact is, customers who are pleased with the claims process are 80% more likely to renew their policies, contributing to as much as 30% higher profitability. Also, expediting first notice of loss alone can help cut the cost of the average auto claim by up to $800. And besides, it costs 4 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to keep the ones you already have happy. So get a move on it. We can help you do it right. As Steven noted, it's critical that digital becomes human. Cortina can help you get there today.